Hello, y'all. I'm Dianna Brianne, and I am just coming on a little bit early, aren't I? Hey, redheaded. Hey, Charles. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you both for being here. You know, I I come on at 10 if I come on, or sometimes even later than 10. And tonight, I actually took a nap after I did my live stream today. And I was just like, you know what? I have the energy now to go on. Blue wrench for you, Red, and blue wrench for you, Charles. Happy Valentine's Day, my friends. Happy Valentine's Day. You know, my set time is like, around right at around 10 o'clock, 9:55, 10 o'clock. I do come on earlier, sometimes maybe 9:30, but that's pretty rare that I come on at 9:30 because my family's all up and moving about and everything, even though I'm back here in the sunroom, which is private, kind of cut off from the rest of the house so that I can do my live streaming. And it's not cut off from the rest of the house, but it's where no one's going to walk in, hopefully. Well, how is your Valentine's Day going? How is it going? Hey, Shangy girl, welcome, welcome. You know, I did a Valentine's Day live stream earlier today for about an hour, and I talked all the Valentine's Day stuff. So I'm not going to repeat all that again. But I had a really good one. I had a really good one. Actually, we celebrated yesterday instead of today because my husband, he was working all day, and my family, they were all in and out today. So we celebrated yesterday, and I love Valentine's Day. So I hope you all had an amazing, amazing day. Red, your live stream yesterday was awesome. I really, really so enjoyed your live stream. And Shangy Girl, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Charles, you are so right. I believe that falling in love is like the icing on the cake, and being in love is really comes over time, and we show people how much we love them, but it's that falling in love that attracts us to that relationship, and that falling in love is important. Hey, Iva, welcome, welcome. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Welcome, welcome. Falling in love, this is the thing. I learned many years ago that there was about a 90-day period where people are, it's called the 90-day glow. It's actually called the 90-day glow. And if you can make it past the 90 days, you're likely to go into, what they call real, genuine love. Most relationships that start off don't make it past the 90 days because in that 90-day period, they determine that either that person is right for them or not right for them. And it's kind of like the icing on the cake, but not the cake itself. But and a lot of people get stuck there. When it comes time for the real part of the relationship, they just can't do it. And so they want that excitement of that 90-day glow. Which once you pass that 90-day glow, you really get into the substance of real love and what a relationship is about. And often people can't handle that. And that's why you'll see a lot of relationships that start off beautifully, and after 90 days or within that 90-day period, it ends pretty quickly for whatever reason. And Shangy Girl says sometimes falling in love are real, sometimes it's infatuation feelings, some are fake feelings each other. How I look at it is it can be like Charles said, it can be the beginning of real love. It can be the beginning of real love. Without that falling in love, we would probably not fall in love. You know what I'm saying? We need that icing on the cake to want to, look at the cake and get to know that cake, I guess. The icing on the cake is that 90-day glow, that falling in love. And being in love tends to go after the 90-day glow. And so both are important because without that falling in love, you may not reach that point of being in love. But a lot of relationships end before the 90-day glow. is over, because they realize that, when we first meet somebody, often we can only see them, from, oh, they're so wonderful, they're so perfect. But once we get to know a person, we find out that everybody has their things, their idiosyncrasies, their flaws. Um, have you heard of limerence? No, I haven't. I haven't. I don't know what that is. Yeah, yeah. Um, Charles says, sticking through thick and thin, loving the good times, working through the, absolutely. And that's what being in love is about. Because that's exactly right, Charles, exactly what you said. When you, the 90-day glow is just more of the superficial. You're getting to know about a person. That's the falling in love stage. Oh, they're so wonderful. But being in love usually comes a little bit later, because that takes some time. And because, like Charles says, sticking together through the thick and thin, getting to know each other's idiosyncrasies and everything like that. Hey, Pond and Garden, welcome, welcome. Thank you. You're live streaming now. Okay. Thank you, my friend. If anyone doesn't know Pond and Garden, they're live streaming right now too. And you're welcome to open up a separate tab and be, kind of a little over there, a little over here at the same time. That would be wonderful. Welcome, Ayun Yukazi. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. And yeah, so, falling in love, being in love, not that I'm a love expert, but I've always been in love. I'm, been married 30 years and still in love, but it does change. And it's a much deeper essence the longer you go. Hey, Rosie, welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rosie. Happy, um, happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, sometimes when we repeat a pattern, sometimes when we repeat a pattern, we have to look at what in us is attracting that pattern. You know what I'm saying? We all have patterns, and some are great patterns, and we need habits, we need patterns. And yet, if a pattern is working against us often and we repetitively do it, sometimes we have to look back, step back, and say, what is it that I'm doing that's pulling in a certain type of person? You know, and I look back upon my life, and I pulled in different kinds of people for different purposes. That's why early on, my relationship, I finally met my husband, and it was the right relationship. But the other relationships taught me things that prepared me for that day that I would meet my husband. And had I not met them, oh, congratulations, Rosie, congratulations. And so I love falling in love. I love that. Hey, Tessay, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. I really, really was in love all the time when I was single years ago. Oh my gosh, I was in love every week. But hey, Mrs. Lynn BTV, welcome, welcome. Thank you. And anyone who would like to share me out, let me know that you shared me out, please, so that I can go back and share you out. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, the way I look at it is, when I was younger, when you're young, you're in and out of love, in and out of love. It's like, and I had a lot of that. I had some amazing relationships. Um, and I had an amazing relationship when I was young, amazing relationships, but they weren't right for marriage. And at some point, they ended for me. They ended, you know, and either I ended them, or I think one time I was dating a guy and he had such bad behavior, I ended it. But in a sense, he ended it because of his bad behavior. And but yeah, I've chosen some pretty good guys along the way, and then I met my husband. And each one played an important part and an important role in my life. And now I'm almost 65 years old, and so my life is very different. Would I want to be single again? You know, I make the most of my life, whether I was single and whether I was single, whether I was married, whatever the situation, I always make the most. Hey, Love Channel, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And so I've always made, wow, 48 years. Yay. That is a huge, huge milestone. Huge. I often look at relationships that ended. And actually, often I believe that God brings us somebody right before we meet the right one, or someone comes to our life and it doesn't work out, and then we meet the right one. Because how it happened with me and my husband, thank you, Red, thank you. How it happened with me and my husband was that I met him, and but prior to him, I had dated the bad boy, the bad guy, the guy that it just, I was madly in love, but I knew it was more of a fling. And finally, I dumped him, but it was only not because I wanted to, but because he just, wasn't doing the right things. And, and it broke my heart. But it was actually him that indirectly led me to my husband. And so I think that he was supposed to be in my life because he prepared the way, in a sense, for me to meet my husband. Yeah, Charles, losing somebody you love, anybody you love, is traumatic, and you never get over that. You never get over the loss of somebody that you love. You go on, you adjust, you adapt, you move forward eventually in life, or at least hopefully you do. And yet you never lose them out of your heart. You never lose them out of your memories. You never lose that part of you. You stay connected with them forever. People that have touched your life are always in your heart forever. Always in your heart forever, And so for me, I've prior to my husband, I had a number of significant relationships. I always had a boyfriend somewhere. I dated a lot, but I did have two real significant relationships prior to my husband. One, I go to the one called that I did yesterday, called Love, Las Vegas, on Valentine's Day. That was a very significant relationship. That wasn't my husband. That was in my 20s. And I only have good memories about my relationships that ended. And because they each brought something, even the bad boy, the one that right before my husband, he brought a lot to my life, that I would not have experienced and been ready for my husband. I think they all prepared the way. They all paved the way. They all taught me something. So I had the one I called the Valentine's Day one I talked about in the video from yesterday. And then Valentine's, getting married on Valentine's Day in Las Vegas. That was the video yesterday. And then I had one prior to that was very significant. And but it came down to it had gone on for quite a couple years. I was in my early 20s, and then it ended. It ended because it was meant to end. It wasn't the one. Sometimes people come into our lives for a season, and they're there for a purpose, and they help shape who I am today. And when I did get married, I was so ready. I was so ready. And, had I gotten married prior to that, I don't know if I would have been ready. I don't know how I would have done in a marriage. I think our relationships often come to us when we're prepared for them, when we're ready. And so, yeah, I think when we're ready, our relationships will enter our life. They'll enter our life. I don't believe in looking for love. I believe in letting love find you, but I do believe in being prepared for love. I believe in preparing yourself for love to enter your life. And, I believe that we often attract the people that we are at that level to receive. And what, prior to my husband, I was attracting a wide range of personalities. I remember one guy I attracted, and he was, oh my gosh, and we dated quite a long time. He was gorgeous, and I was madly in love once again. And but he was kind of very subtly manipulative. And I was young. I was very young, but I picked up on it. Hey, Jamarty, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And so I was very young, and yet I realized it wasn't right for me. And I'll tell you that story in a second. Oh, that is so wonderful, Charles. Absolutely. See, you have such beautiful memories. You know, the reason I would never get married again is because I've been blessed, and I wouldn't want to get married again. Hey, Put Put, welcome, welcome. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. My husband will pick that call up. Um, Welcome, Put Put. Happy Valentine's Day. And Put Put, keep an eye on my stream for those bots. You did a great job the other night. We're all getting those bots on our live streams. By the way, if you don't see me putting up daily videos on my main channel, I'm putting them up on my other channels because I'm trying to work the analytics. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is true, but your live stream should be on a separate channel, and your videos should be on a separate channel. So, I have 5 channels. Links are pinned to the top of the comments section under all my daily videos. So go back on any of the videos and you'll find the links. And if the links are broken, just copy and paste the name of the channel. I have 5 channels. Hey, Mega Van, thank you for coming. Well, that's fine. I'm glad you came by. Wish you happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And Nils, welcome, welcome. Ooh, I've never eaten that, but there's all kinds of things I haven't eaten. Happy Valentine's Day. So what I'm doing with my videos is, I'm trying it to see if it works and if I can, so I'm posting my daily content over on my other 4 channels, and I have 5 channels total. This is my main channel. And so I'm doing the live streams over here, and yet I'm putting up the content over there. So if you're missing out on my content, if that's what you like, please go over to my content over on my other 4 channels. Put Put, I do mostly, as I have videos, but I find that it messes my analytics up when I come live, and because for some reason, and I've been told that, and I don't know whether it's true because I've always done that. I've always put my video, like what you're saying, I put my videos and my live streaming together. But I'm trying this. I'm going to see if it works. So we'll watch my channel to see if it works, and see what happens. So what I did today is I put up 2 videos on each of my channels. So except for this one, I just did the live streaming. So I came on here, did live streaming earlier. And so I'm going to try it for a while and see how it does with just the live streaming over here. And then on the other channels, just the videos, no live streaming over there. Thank you, Jamarty. Thank you. And thank you, Nils. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Love Channel is listening up there. And so, yes, so I have 5 channels. And if you connect with me on all 5, I likely will connect back on with you. And So one of me is like 5 of me. And I think I did put the links in the description box below here. So if you go in the description box, you should be able to get the 5 links. And so I'm trying that. I'm trying that. So, Charles, I don't know. See, for me, I've been married around 30 years. And I've been very happy. So I feel like um, I would not want to be out in the dating world, especially at my age. It's very different when you're 20 or 30, but when you're 60 and beyond, we're all set in our ways. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend. Thank you. And so, you know, in my 60s, I would not want to be in the dating world. I just wouldn't. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be out there. I would probably have friendships, but I don't think at this stage I would ever really date. I don't think I would really ever date again or anything like that. Of course, I'm married, and hopefully my husband and I will be, live happily ever after till we're 120. And then I always tell him I want to go first, like 1 week before he goes. Because I tell him he does such a great job of taking care of everything, and I would not want to have to take care of everything. So I say, let me go 1 week before you do. Yeah. So, but dating after 60 is, I have a lot of friends that are in the dating world over the age of 60. And, for some it works. I had an old aunt that was 85 years old, and her husband died. They'd been married forever, since high school sweethearts. And she was about 85. And she reconnected. I hadn't seen him. They lived in a small town, and this man's wife had died too at the very same time. And not the same day or anything, but in the same time period. So they connected and they fell in love at 85 years old, and they got married, and they lived the rest of their life out very happy. So love can find you at every stage and every age. Love sort of found them when they weren't looking for it. And so, but I will tell you that dating after 60, people in my age group, by the time you reach my age group, you're set in your ways. You like things a certain way, and you also have history. It may be great history, but you have history behind you. And so to start dating older, you're walking into their history, they're walking into yours, they're walking into your idiosyncrasies, you're walking into theirs. I don't want, I love my idiosyncrasies. I'm not going to change or explain or justify my life at this stage. I love, I've worked hard to be who I am today, so I'm not going to justify anything. And I wouldn't expect anyone else to do that, but there's an adjustment, and a lot of time you've got to put, hi, Nemo. Hey, I hope you're doing well. And so, I think that I would not want to date anybody at this stage, because there's just, that's me. But I have a lot of friends that are in the dating world well over 60, some in their 70s, and they're hopeful. They're hopeful. And like I said, my aunt at 85 years old got remarried and lived the rest of her life happily ever after. So it can happen. But I just live by the philosophy that love finds you rather than you go out and look for it. You know what I'm saying? I never looked for love, but I was always open to love. I was ready for love, but I never looked for it. Hey, John Chalker, welcome, welcome. Happy Valentine's Day, my friend. And so I never went out and looked for love. Put Put says, learning when you're dating one person later on in the life, their personal problems would want you involved with their personal problems. You know what I mean? I agree. It's like friendship is one thing, because you can be friends with somebody and walk away at the end of the day from being integrated in their personal problems, or they're in yours. But when you're romantically involved, or especially get remarried, it gets very complicated when you're older. and there's money involved. It may be money, or someone may have a lot of bills, or somebody may have health problems, and there's all kinds of issues. I know one couple that's been together about 30 years. They're older, they're almost 90 years old, and I'm not sure why they didn't get married, but neither of them wanted to get married, but they lived together. Hey, Billy, welcome, welcome. Happy Valentine's Day to you, my friend. Happy Valentine's Day. And they've lived happily. They're very happy. They're really a couple. They're like they're married. I think it's more financial reasons why they don't get married, legally married, but they're just like they're married. They have a commitment to each other and everything. And neither of them want marriage, legal marriage, I guess. So so yeah, I just I think that for me, um, love can happen at any age. I think when you're open to it. At what level do you want to be open to it is the question you have to ask yourself. Everything is different. And so, where I'm at in life is over 60. If I was 20 again, of course, you have not much to lose when you're 20 or 30. You're still building your empire. You're still building your life, you're still flexible. At my age, I'm really not, So, hey, Putt Putt, can you get rid of that botch? Putt Putt, Putt Putt is so good. Putt Putt, I hope you're still here. If you can get rid of the bot, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see if I can, let's see, put them in time out. Okay, did I do that? And okay, now remove. Okay. Okay, I think I did it. Thank you, Red. Oh, thank you so much, Red. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Red is so good, and Putt Putt King is so good. Oh, I appreciate you. Oh, I do. Thank you. Thank you. They're just everywhere. Everybody's channels I go to seems to have them. They seem to have those. And so, yes. So this is the thing. Let love find you is my opinion. Yeah. And see, that's the other thing, Charles. You just brought up a really good point. When we're older, we compare. And you can't help but compare. So that's why I would not want to be in the dating world. But one thing I have to tell you, before I met my husband, I was in a very good place in my life. I decided I was going to be a single woman forever. And I decided I was going to be very happy. And I was going to build my own empire and my own life. And I lived in Newport Beach area, California. And hey, Robert Mack, happy Valentine's Day, my friend. Hey. John says, everybody's different, my friend. Everybody's different. Some people are way open to marriage. Some people are somewhat open. Some people are not. Absolutely, John. You are absolutely right. I think it's an individual choice, so individual. And I know younger people who say that they'll never get married. I know older people who say they really want to get married. So, it's an individual thing. There's no one size shoe that fits everybody. Honestly, there isn't. Yeah, Red, that's what I was saying. I think you were off on a break when I said that I wouldn't want to be in the dating world. What I would do is I just have friends. But this is the thing, Red. What I did was I built my own life. I was focused on becoming the best me that I could be. Not a perfect me, but the best me. I had a job I absolutely loved. I was saving money. I worked out every day. I took care of my life. I had a great social network. I built that. And then my husband walked in my life. And I believe that when you've got yourself together, the right person comes to you. I didn't have to look for him. He came to me. Do you know what I'm saying? He came into my life. And I believe that love walks in the door when we quit looking for it. And so, I wasn't looking. I was very happy being a single person, very happy with building my own life, very happy with myself as a person. And I said, God, if you want, this is what I said. I prayed it. I remember praying it because I'm sitting in the car. I said, God, if you want me to have somebody to marry, you're going to have to hit me over the head with it. And he practically did. He practically did. And yeah, I have friends that are on those red, and I can tell you, it's like, for one, it did work. I have to say, hey, Roy, great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you for coming, and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. I have to tell you, but most of my friends, they're so disappointed because, I'm not saying it can't happen because people have met and married and everything else, but, it's just, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. I want someone to get to know me. Red, this is the thing. Often we look at somebody else to complete that part of us that's either broken or missing or not finished yet. And so I realized that nobody could come into my life and fix me or create me or fill in the gaps. I had to do it first. I agree, Charles. I agree. And so I worked on me. And even today, just because you're married doesn't mean, okay, I can kick back and relax and be my worst. And a lot of people get married, and that's what happens. And we have to stay on top of our game, just as if we're single. I take care of myself. I work out hard. I'm going to be 65, and we'll have a birthday celebration when my birthday comes up. And, I take care of this body. And I don't want, the other reason why I wouldn't want to be out there, I don't want someone telling me, oh, well, you're 65 years old. Look at someone 25. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm proud of who I am at 65, but I'm not going to compare myself to what I used to be because they're not comparable. They're each different. I bring to the table something very different than what I brought at 25. And I only want people in my life that recognize my value. I don't want someone to put down my value. I did a lot of videos today. I put them in the queue. So make sure you go over to my other channel because I got all kinds of really great videos. One I put up about old people and dignity. And it is powerful. The importance of dignity at all ages of our life. But as we grow older, often old people feel that they lose their dignity because of the way people treat them. So we will never lose our dignity unless we turn it over to somebody and give it to them. I agree, Robert. I agree. Keep that positive attitude. You got to stay focused on the positive. You never hear me talk bad about any relationships from my past. You don't. I do, because, this is what I see single people do. Okay. I'm going to tell you the worst thing that single people do on a date. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. They go on a date, and after about 5 minutes, they tell you everything bad about the person that they dated before. Everything bad. I mean, I remember going out with a guy, 100 years ago, and he did that. I got up and walked away. I just walked away because my mind is focused on the positive and and where I'm going. And people they dig their hole in the past. They dig their hole in what happened to them and how bad someone mistreated them and how, and they're digging their hole deeper and deeper and deeper, and they don't go forward. And, I had some not bad relationships, but I had, that one guy before I met my husband. But I have only good things to say about him because, well, he prepared the way and taught me what I didn't want in my next relationship. So, but he had some good points too. He was good looking. But then all the guys I dated were good looking, one thing I will tell you, I made it a rule that I would never date a guy that I was not attracted to. So if I wasn't attracted to him, I wasn't going to put myself through that or put him through that. I had to be attracted to him at some level. Not necessarily looks, but I had to be attracted to him. Otherwise, I wasn't going to date him. And so I didn't. I wasn't going to date somebody for, like a lot of women do for a nice dinner out or whatever. I wasn't going to do that. I bought my own dinner, And so So one of the things that's the worst mistake single people make on a date is they start bad mouthing a previous relationship, whether it was a marriage or whether it was a dating situation or their job. They'll sit there and they'll tell how bad their life is. Another channel, a woman in my age group, a little bit older than me, was talking about her, she talks about her dating experiences. And now, of course, I date my husband, but I don't date anybody else, of course. And she talked about, she went out with this guy. And I mean, it wasn't the date from, where. It was terrible. He was talking about all of his bad relationships and what happened. Then he was talking about, you also don't want to bring up how good somebody was, because that's on the opposite end of the spectrum too. You can be sitting there bad mouthing a previous relationship, but if you go out on a new date and all you're doing is talking about a previous relationship, guess what? I would get up and walk away, because I would say, wait a minute, I'm here. I'm not the previous relationship. I'm somebody totally different. And, yeah, a lot of people are stuck in victim mode. They're digging that hole. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Get out of that victim hole and rise above that victim hole and be your own best self. You don't need somebody else. You can't find somebody else to complete you. Okay. And you have to complete yourself before the right person will enter your life, because you will only attract where you're at in your life right now. And so, at 65 years old, or 64, I'm still 64, still 29 forever. But I go to college full time. I'm always investing in myself. This is the other thing I'm going to, for single people, invest in yourself. So often I see single people throw themselves into a relationship. And yes, you have to invest in the relationship for it to grow. But they put their needs outside. They quit investing in who they are. No one wants a doormat. Okay, no one wants a doormat. They'll walk. What do they do with doormats? They walk all over them. People want people that are investing in themselves. Why would you invest in something that wouldn't invest in itself? No, you wouldn't. So why would somebody invest in a relationship that doesn't invest in itself? Absolutely, Charles. Absolutely. A first date, let's say that you go out on a first or second or third or fourth date with somebody. I'm going to give you some tips here. And yes, and also, Red, you want to move out of survivor into thriver. There's a time to be a survivor. And I've been in survivor mode. It's sort of like safe mode on the computer. Sometimes you have to use it. Sometimes it's necessary, but you don't want to stay in safe mode on the computer. You want to get back to normal computer, right? And so survivor mode is good only for a period of time. But when we take it beyond that period of time necessary and we don't get out of it, and I know a lot of survivors, and not just romantic survivors, all kinds of survivors, they don't move beyond that, then they never go to thriver. You want to be a thriver. So this is the thing. I'm going to give you some dating tips about what I did 100 years ago when I dated. Okay. I was a fantastic listener. You heard it. I know you don't hear me listen, because all I do is talk, because that's what you do on a live stream, right? I mean, I could sit here and listen, but I was a fantastic listener. Every date I went out on, wanted a second date and a third date, because I listened. I listened. I didn't give advice. Hey, Cassinia, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I did not give advice. I didn't solve their problems. I'm not a problem solver. I'm not an advice giver, but I'm a good listener. And yeah, now remember the song, I remember Tammy Faye Baker, who I knew. I loved her. She's wonderful. And she sang the song, I Will Survive. And I would like to just change that a little bit and say, I will thrive. You want to be a thriver. You don't want to get stuck in survival mode. You don't want to get stuck there. It's only a temporary place to be, and you don't want to get stuck there. And so you want to be investing in yourself. So first stage, okay, first stage. You want to look nice. You want to have great body hygiene. I will tell you, you don't want to be overdressed and you don't want to be underdressed. And hey, Boss Andrew, I shared you out, my friend, earlier. And thank you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Matthew. Thank you. And so this is the thing. When you go on a first stage, you want to have great body hygiene, great manners. I think keep it casual. First date should never be like, unless you know somebody from work or something like that, it should never be a big deal. It should be more casual setting. Sometimes a cup of coffee. Because how do you know you're going to like this person, especially if you met them online or something? Oh, absolutely, Charles, good or bad. You go on that first date and you start talking all the good about your previous relationship. That's going to bore somebody. They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear the bad either. The bad's going to really turn them off and the good's going to turn them off too. So just keep it about getting to know each other and keep it on a positive note. Don't start talking about all the bills you had and how you can't pay the electric bill and how you can't pay the gas bill. Don't do that. That's not what a first date's about. I suggest the first date always be in a public place and always be, safe. And I think always keep it casual. I used to wear jeans, nice fitting jeans, nice top, always look nice. Put that lipstick on, I always like my lipstick. And, but it usually was a casual date. Yeah, some of the dates would be more out to dinner and that, but I didn't like to go to dinner because I wanted to know whether I wanted to actually see that person again. I didn't want to go through a whole evening, giving my whole evening to somebody that I didn't want to see again. So I kept it casual. Usually it was for a cup of coffee, maybe a pastry, something like that. Hey, Annalyn, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And so this is the thing. I would meet that. So if I were right now going out on a date as a single person, I would look nice, be casual, be a fantastic listener, smile, be friendly and be warm, not talk about previous relationships, not talk about the electric bill that's got to be paid, not talk about all that. I would go to someplace casual where that's not a lot of money is going to be spent. You don't have to worry about who's going to pay the bill, because the one channel that I watched, she was saying the guy came out to the car, and when he saw that she was driving a BMW, he was real upset that she made him, or she had him pay the bill. And it was not an expensive restaurant or anything like that. And he was nasty. He even sent her a bill for $15. He wanted her to pay her share. If you're going to go out to dinner on a first date and you don't know who's going to pay for it, don't assume anything. Clear it up before you go on the first date. And actually, the way I would do it, I would say, hey, I'm going to pay for mine and you pay for yours on our first date. If it was going to be dinner, that if you don't really know the person, or if they didn't ask you out for a date. Do you know what I'm saying? It depends on the situation. I'm old school, so guys usually paid on the date, but that's old school. That's not necessarily new school. So don't assume anything on a first date. Have it cleared up. Sometimes you have to be direct. Don't be overbearing. Don't share your whole life. It's better to let them get to know you over time and be interested in who they are. And the more interested in who they are, the more interested in you they're going to become. They don't need to know every detail about your life. They don't need to know that you flunked second grade. They don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. They don't need to know everything, all your trauma and all your drama. They don't need to know how great you are. I mean, you can blow your own horn softly. That's a good thing because, well, if you don't tell them some things about you, they're not going to know, but do it softly. Thank you, boss. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friend. You're going to be blessed, boss. Blessings are coming to you because you have been such a good soul and such a good spirit, boss. I see big blessings coming your way. I really do. I know how it works. And, I share out people constantly with very few who share me out, by the way. And I just think, okay, you know, because what you give out comes back. You give out love, it comes back. It may not come back from the same person. It may come, but it'll come back to you. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Charles. Absolutely. And you don't have to have, my husband's a golfer. I don't like golf, but you find things that you have in common, or you create new things to have in common. You don't have to have everything in common. You don't both have to be golfers. My husband and I are very different than each other on the superficial level. On the core level, we think very much alike. And so I think ultimately you may be very opposite on the surface, but the important thing is that you're very much alike underneath your belief system. Because when your belief system is very different than each other, you will likely have issues long term. So your core beliefs, your core values need to merge, and they need to be similar. But your superficial things, like the things you like he likes golfing. I like to do YouTube videos. I like to, but he and I do like to work out. We take great care of our bodies. We take great care of our bodies. Oh, I was madly in love when I met my husband. Oh my gosh. The moment I saw him, I was like, oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. Of course, that was the 90-day glow. We had to get through the 90-day glow into the real deal, after the 90 days. But it was love. It was love. Hey, passion for art, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. If you don't have passion for art, please connect. And so this is the thing, is you want to be a great listener. I think that's the most valuable tool. You want to be positive on a first date. You don't want to be out there hungry. Oh, hungry for love. Hungry eyes. Remember that song, Hungry Eyes? Oh, I'm hungry. I'm desperate for love. You know what? Love will run the other way from you if you're hungry. You have to fill your own love tank, and you can't do that by being hungry for love. And I see, I'll never forget in Newport Beach, after I got married and we were living in Europe, and I flew back to visit my mother in Palm Springs, and I went down to visit my girlfriend in Newport Beach, and we went to a bar that we'd been to 10 years before. And there was this guy still hungry for love, sitting on the same bar stool that he sat 10 years prior, still hungry for love. Never found it, because when you're hungry for something, it eludes you. You have to fill your own tank first. Okay. So that's another very, very big thing for single people. Invest in yourself, fill your own tank first. If you don't invest in yourself, take care of yourself. Who wants somebody that's sloppy, that's not taking care of themselves, that doesn't have good body hygiene, that has got a ton of bills and a ton of problems? Maybe somebody else who has a ton of problems too. But somebody who doesn't is going to run the other way. Okay. Get your own life together first. Yeah. Yeah, Charles. Oh, good. I love bowling too, passion. I do. I haven't been for a while. My kids and I used to go all the time. I used to put all kinds of YouTube videos with my kids and I bowling. We used to go all the time. It's expensive, though. People don't realize how expensive bowling can get. It can get pretty pricey. It really can. It really can. And so, okay, so back to the first date and the second date and the third date. Okay. Fill your tank up first. Invest in yourself. Have a direction for your life. Don't wait on someone else for that direction. Yes, when we finally meet somebody who's right for our life, we will merge our directions. But up until that point, you've got to have your own direction. Don't be like a little boat out there just kind of going around in circles, don't know where it's going. You've got to have direction in your life. Okay. And do the things that you love to do, and you'll meet somebody while you're doing them. But often people go out and they're just so hungry. I'm hungry for love. I got to have me some love. I'm so hungry. They don't find it. They don't find it, you know. And, you know, I mean, I always was in love. Somehow it just came to me. I mean, I remember I was a young nurse working in LA, very young, early 20s. Started my first day on the job at this amazing place, amazing hospital. And I've done videos on that. And, you know, the people that I met through my job led me in different areas professionally. And it was amazing. But anyhow, I'm going to tell you a little story how this all started. My first day at work, I was standing at the nurse's station, and we had what they called residents, but they were interns. Okay, they were doctors, but they were young doctors that just, you know, still in the process of getting their internship. He looked over at me, and you know, I gave him the, you know, smile, and I looked away. You know, you don't want to stare someone down. You don't want to look away all the time, but there's a softness that love brings, or attraction brings, a softness. You don't stare love down, or you don't stare attraction down. There's got to be a softness about you. And there was a softness about me. Hey, Edward Smart, welcome, welcome. I was a little coy. Um, coy is not a bad thing. Coy is a good thing. It's being soft, flirtatious. I'm flirtatious with my girlfriends. I'm flirtatious with everybody, you know. Oh God, Pawn and Garden, thank you. And I did share, I didn't have a thing to share you out at the time. You know, you didn't have the thing where it says live stream, but where I could find it. But what I did is I took your last video and I put that you were going to do a live stream at 9 p.m. I hope that helped. I don't know if it did, but I shared it out. Okay, just so that you know, Pond and Garden, I shared you out. And so I was standing there, and you know, it was really love at first sight, because it was the beginning of a whole new relationship for me. And it was one I was very much ended up in love for quite some time. And he was only like 2 years older than me, 3 years older than me. So I was maybe 22, I guess. Um, and I mean, I was madly in love, madly in love. That was young love. That was not somebody I married. I didn't marry him, but we were madly in love. And it was wonderful, wonderful. He taught me so much, And, um, and then my next relationship, you know, I learned a lot. I learned that you have to be soft with love. Okay. I have another friend. I haven't seen her for a while, but she was always looking for love. She was hungry for love. She was starved for love, but she was tough. You know, she'd go right to the point. I want to get married. You don't do that. You don't slam people with all this information. This is what I want in a relationship. You're probably not going to find it that way. You know, you got to be soft. You got to be indirect. You got to be gentle. You know, people want to rush a relationship. This is the other thing single people make a mistake. They're attracted to somebody, so they want to jump right in. They want to rush that. They want to start having expectations right away. And before that 90 days is up, guess what? They've ended. They push too much, too fast, too hard. Love does not rush you, and love is not hard. Love is soft. It takes its time. It's gentle. It's kind. It's thoughtful. It's positive. Love is a positive emotion. Okay. It's not a hardcore emotion. And so, like I said, all the things, if you're just getting into the live stream, you know, being a great listener, let them talk. You don't have to share all your information in the first date or the second date or the third date. Don't dump your problems on that date. Okay? Don't dump your problems on that date. Be pleasant. Are you a pleasant experience, or are you an unpleasant experience? Think about it. What kind of experience are you for the people around you? You know, my girlfriends, I have one girlfriend, and when we're together, we're so flirtatious. When I say flirtatious, I don't mean romantically flirtatious, but we're giddy. We're silly, not too silly, but we keep that coyness with each other, that silliness. And one of the things, even though I was a very smart young woman, I was very silly a lot. I really was. I was kind of silly. I was silly a lot. And somehow my lightness, I wasn't heavy. I was light and fun and easy and, had a good time. And if I, was making a dinner for a guy and it'd burn up, we'd just laugh about it. We'd go out and get some tacos or something, you know. And the other thing is don't be nervous. Don't be nervous on a first date. You don't need to be nervous. Just be you. Just be you. You don't need to be nervous. So thinking back about my first dates, hey, Pat. Oh, my beautiful, wonderful friend, Pat. Love you, girlfriend. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day. And so, yeah, for my single friends, I would say just be you, invest in you, be a great listener, and stay positive and build your own best life. But don't be so independent. Now, there's the other extreme too. You're so independent, you don't need a man. I don't need a man because I've got it going on. What man wants that? Ooh, they don't want that either. There's a balance. There's a balance there. Okay. Now let's talk married people because we talked about being single and dating and how to date and all that. Marriage it takes work, but it doesn't take all that much work. You got to give and take. You got to understand you're living with somebody now. You're sharing their problems and they're sharing yours. Instead of just having your problems out of yourself or them having their problems out of themselves, now you're sharing. So first of all, after you've chosen the right person, and I said right person, I didn't say wrong person for your life, the right person for your life, they're not going to be perfect. Okay. Hey, John, welcome, my buddy. Welcome, welcome. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for being here. So once you're married, and John, we were talking about being in love and dating and all that earlier. So if you missed all that, you can go back and listen to that. Now we're talking once you're married. Oh, thank you, Put Put. Thank you, thank you. And so this is the thing. Once you're married, there's a lot of give and take. You're going to get to know a person at a real level. Okay. They're not going to be all perfect all the time. I'm not all perfect all the time. I have to tell you that. I am not all perfect. And nor is my husband. No one's perfect. Okay. We have good days and we have off days. Last year, you all remember those who were on my channel, I had that nosebleed. I passed out. I ended up on, they called 911. I ended up at the hospital. I had this big clothespin on my nose. I was covered in red stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I was a mess. That was not a pretty sight. I was not a pretty sight, okay? I didn't feel all that dignified at that moment. And there was my husband, right by my side. Okay. I wasn't my best. And so when you're married, you see all the sides, but you don't want to just let them see your bad side. Hey, Noni. Oh, Granny Noni. Hey, welcome, girlfriend. Welcome, welcome. You're welcome to come up here, Noni. If you don't have Noni, Granny B, she changes you. Granny B, you change your channel name too much. I can't keep track of you. It's too many changes. I probably should change a couple, but I'm not. I'm going to just leave them alone. I have the one called I have 5 channels, but one of them is called What Would Mom Say with Dianna Brianne Fairchild. Well, I thought about changing that one because it's kind of complicated. What would Mom say, Dianna Brianne Fairchild? But I said, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. John, might be a good idea. So this is the thing. Okay, this is the thing. When you're married, it's give and take, it's adjustment. You're sharing in each other's problems and you're sharing in each other's joys. The couple that stays together dream together. Let me repeat that. The couple that stays together dream together. When you stop dreaming as a couple, you're going downhill. Okay. You got to have goals and dreams. Even if you never obtain them, you've got to have goals and dreams. You've got to do things together. One of the things my husband and I do, because we're both very different people. He goes golfing. He loves to golf. He could golf 24 hours a day. I don't like golfing, but we have things that we have in common. We have some YouTubers that we have in common that we both like, that we only watch together. They're usually travel channels. Most of them are travel channels, but we sit down and we watch them together, do things together. Well, you know what, Granny B, a lot of us would have become a nun. I I was too wild in the day to become a nun, I have to tell you. I was wild, but in a good way. Never drank, never smoked. Never drank, never smoked, never did any of that. Because Grandma taught me with the Bible. She said, don't drink and don't smoke and don't do none of that stuff, you know. And I didn't. And Grandma kept me grounded. She kept me grounded in the sense of what was right and what was not. And so when I got to Hollywood and LA, there was a lot of all kinds of stuff. But Grandma's, that teaching that she gave me early on kept me very grounded. And I think also that was why people, okay, I'm going to try to talk about this in a roundabout way about my single friends. Well, take it slow. Okay, take it slow. What people run, they ruin their relationship because they just take it so fast. If you know what I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about it, but you know what I mean. Somebody's got to put the brakes on it. And I was always the one that put the brakes on it. You know what I'm saying? In that beginning stages of a relationship, but people rush right in and they rush right out. Hey, Gons, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Red, she was. And matter of fact, I have to tell you something, Red. I dreamed about her last night. This morning, actually, right before I woke up, I dreamed about her. And, my grandma would be 120. No, 121 right now if she was alive. I dreamed about Grandma. I did. I dreamed about Grandma. She centered me. She had that old rotary phone, and I would call her up because my mom would talk to her at night on the phone, but sometimes my mom had other things to do. And so she put me on the old rotary phone, and I'd dial up Grandma. And Grandma would sit in her rocking chair with her Bible, looking out the window. I've told many stories about Grandma with the rocking chair and the Bible, and she stayed up till middle of the night to tend to the coal stoves, and then Grandpa would get up and he'd tend to the coal stoves. They never let the coal stove run by itself. And so I'd call Grandma and she'd tell me about the Bible. I say, well, Grandma, those people down the street, they drink and they smoke. And she said, well, you don't want to do that. You don't judge them, but you don't do that. Grandma, she's wonderful. I'm doing great, Gons. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So getting back to the marriage. You got to understand that marriage is not a dumping ground. It's not a dumping ground. When this is what I see all the time. The husband comes home or the wife comes home and the spouse is stuck to the computer. Hi, how you doing? And they're right back to no, when my husband walks in that door, I get up and I greet him and I say, I give him a big old kiss. And, then I go back to what I'm doing, but be welcoming to your relationship. Okay. Be welcoming, welcome don't treat your relationship like a doormat. Treat it like very special. Otherwise you'll lose it, or it'll just turn south. It'll just turn yucky and you'll be unhappy in it. People don't go marry unhappy relationships. They create unhappy relationships by not investing anymore. You've got to continue to invest in your marriage each and every day. I'm 64, and I can tell you, I spice up my marriage. I put those stiletto high heels on and I dance around the room. You're never too old. You've never been married too long to stop giving your best. Yeah, but a lot of people don't, and that's so unfortunate. And, even when my kids come home, or when they're leaving or whatever, I always greet, I stand up, I say, hey, kids, you be careful when you leave here. Mama loves you. I do greet the people that come through the door, whether it's your husband, your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, greet them. Don't ignore them. Okay, don't ignore them. And so many people do, especially now we have social media and people are looking at their phones and all this stuff. And on a date, put your phone away. Put your phone away. Don't be looking at your phone. Okay, unless you have kids, you can keep it to the side to look for your kids. But beyond that, don't be answering your best girlfriend's phone and she's probably calling to find out how your date is. Don't do that. Yep, long-term love, Charles. You're right. Absolutely. And listen to some old timers like Charles and like me about love, because we've been there. Trial. We've been through the tough times. We've been through the great times. We've been through the mess ups. At least I have. So I know. I know. And don't accept someone putting you down. You don't have to change who you are for someone else, because if they love who you are, they're going to embrace you. Well, Noni May, shame on you. But yeah, let me tell you something else to do in your marriage. Okay. You don't have to be a professional masseuse to do this. Um, Give each other, when you're sitting at a movie theater, rub their hand or rub the back of their shoulder or something like that. My husband and I give each other back rubs all the time. Or when he's sitting in his office, I'll just kind of massage the back of his back, or he'll do my back. You know, do the things that you did when you were single, and you'll probably hold on to your marriage and it'll stay a good marriage. Because what happens to a lot of marriages, they get in there and they become a dumping ground to each other. They become sloppy. They're always at their worst. Now, like I said, they're going to see our good and our not so good side, and that's one thing. But when all it is a bad side to who you are, they're going to go find somebody else, or they're going to be very unhappy and make you miserable. So, a lot of miserable marriages happen to do either with choosing a wrong person for your life, or B, not investing in yourself and into the relationship anymore. You got to continue to invest in yourself. Like I'm going to college at 65, 64 years old, and continue to invest in who you are. Take care of your body, take care of your fitness, take care of your health, take care of every aspect of who you are. Be pleasant to be around. Be pleasant. Quit being that unpleasant experience. So many people, I don't want to be around some of my girlfriends some of the time. I have some girlfriends that call me up. I give them limited amounts of time on the phone, because what starts off positive tries to suck me into that negative conversation. And I say, I gotta go, gotta go. But you know what? My friends know me so well. Hey, Allah God, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. My friends know me so well now. They know I change subjects. I'm pretty direct, with in a very soft way. Very soft, I said. I'm not hard direct. I'm soft direct. But I let people know I just don't want to talk about it. If you're going to start talking about all this negativity, don't dump on me. Go find somebody else that wants to talk negativity, because I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it with you. I'm not going to do it with you. If you want to come over and talk, now I'll share their problems. If they're having an honest problem and they're trying to find a solution, absolutely. I'm the friend for them. Okay. But I'm not the friend for them to come dump all their negativity on me. I don't want it. I don't want it. Nor would I do that to my friends. And so in your marriage, for me, I'm very positive. I invest in myself. I invest in the relationship. I stay positive. Oh, absolutely. Foot massages are the best, Charles. Absolutely. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I told my husband, because I go to a masseuse as well. And I told him, I said, he does a better job and I do a better job. I'm really good at back rubs. So, I do a great job. Yeah. So if you replay Gon's TV, if you replay this whole video, you'll hear all the different things I talked about, how I would do it. I don't never give advice or suggestions or anything to other people. I just share with you how I live my own life and how I do things. And I think in a marriage, you work together. There are a lot of compromising, And I always tell my husband, like, he loves to golf. I say, you can golf as much as you want, as long as it doesn't infringe upon the things that matter, And so he golfs, and he lets me come in here, and do my YouTubey stuff, He's out there in the office. He's actually, oh, I just did a video called, Do We Listen to Too Many Experts? Sometimes you can listen to too many experts. So long story short, we were having some issues because we were putting up extra cameras. We have cameras all around our house and all of that, security cameras. And so one of them wouldn't work. And so he called up the company and they said, well, you got to reset the modem. Well, we have 2 modems. And I said, no, we're not resetting the modem because that's not the problem. But the expert said, I don't care what the expert said. That's not the problem. And we're not doing it. Do you know, it turned out to be I was right and the expert was wrong. So I just did a video called, Do We Listen to Too Many Experts? Are we not thinking for ourselves? I love it. But see, Noni, you're a lot of fun to be with. And that's one of the secrets to a great marriage. You're fun. Be fun a lot of the time. I'm fun. I'm telling you, dancing around in my stilettos in the bedroom for my husband, I'm fun, okay? I am fun. And I can just see Granny B dancing around in her stilettos in the bedroom for her husband. I really can. Noni, Granny B, did you ever watch Keeping Up Appearances with Hyacinth's sister, not Rose, but the other one, the heavy set one who was married to Onslow, and she was always trying to be, sexy for Onslow. Do you remember? You kind of remind me, because you have such a great sense of humor. I love that. I love that. Yeah, it takes two people, Red. And that's why, you let that person come to you. Now, I'm old school again. Okay, so please, I know a lot of people say, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong. I always let the guy pursue me. I did, but I was receptive, but I let him pursue me. Okay, I'm old school. A lot of women are bold and aggressive and get out there, and that's their style. That wasn't for me. That's right, Charles. Absolutely. There's not a one size fits all. You got to find what works for you. What works for you. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. Okay. And what's worked for many others that I have known. There's got to stay a softness in your marriage. My aunt and uncle were married for many, many well, I have to tell you, Granny B, I've gone to bed with Ben Gay too. See, once you're married, you get all these different smells, like Ben Gay and stuff. When my back went out, what was that, almost a year ago, whatever it was, I had a pulled muscle and I put Ben Gay all over. And my husband said, what's that smell? I said, it's Ben Gay. It's Ben Gay. Yep. It's tougher when you're young because you don't have, one of the things I had that many others didn't have, I had great mentors. My grandma was a great mentor. My grandma only finished the 8th grade, or maybe it was 6th grade. I think it was 8th grade. And then she got married, back in the early 1900s. And grandma was one of the best mentors in the world. And I think why I come on here, people think that I come on here because of monetization. And no, I come on here for friendship. I originally came on and made wisdom videos for my kids so that they would have easy access. Even though they're all backed up on DVD, this makes it easy accessible. Many of those videos were never titled, never tagged, no thumbnails, no nothing. They were less than a minute long. They were on a different wisdom topic. Yeah, Billy. Yep. Sometimes that can happen. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. And, and, so then but I feel like I'm a mentor to many. Like I said, I don't give advice or anything. The super highway to success is through the right mentors. A right mentor is your super highway to success. A lot of people don't want to listen. They think they know it all. I'm still listening. I still learn. I have mentors. Absolutely, Charles. Absolutely. And sometimes we've got to try different things to find out what works. Gons, you can drop your link. Yes. Thank you. Um, you got to find out what works well for you, because what worked well for me may not necessarily work well for you. So you got to shape your own things and what's going to work well for you in your life. You got to shape your own life. You got to decide what's important. What, there again, Red, what works? I did, what did I do? Was it a live stream or was it a video? I did both, I think, live streams and videos on older men, younger women, younger men, older women. And my husband's 5 years younger, and we've been married about 30 years. I have another girlfriend, I think her husband's 11 years younger, and they've been married about 30 years. And it's what works. There's sometimes older men, younger women, older men, or younger men and older women. Whatever works, whatever works. When you get too far in age, there can be problems, just because you're both coming from different points and different places and different times in life. So, um, yeah, yeah, Red. It can really, really work. There, you never know what couple is going to be brought together. Everybody finds you find your missing piece of the puzzle. You are complete as you are. You're that complete piece, but you find the other piece. You know what I'm saying? That's also complete, and then you complete a puzzle together, and that's how it works. And so I think married couples often just take each other for granted. Don't take your spouse for granted. So your husband or wife gets up every day and goes to work and brings home the paycheck. After a while, you expect it. What I did the video called gratitude, when gratitude turns into expectancy, when expectancy turns into is it entitlement, and then it turns into demanding. Don't let gratitude go any further than gratitude. Okay, because you need to stay grateful for them getting up every day for the last 30 years, taking care, making you a beautiful life. And they need to be grateful for every meal that you've ever cooked every night that took time. Do you know what I'm saying? Be grateful in your marriage. You have to have gratitude. I'm grateful. I always tell my husband he's, wonderful. I do. I'm fun to be married to. I'd like to be married to me. I am really fun. I really am. Hey, Nancy Brown, welcome. Well, you're welcome to come up, Nancy. You're welcome. Nancy's my piano player friend. I've known her, gosh, 10 years on Facebook. She makes beautiful Barbie doll dresses. Oh my gosh, I love her Barbie doll dresses and her piano. So if you're not connected to Nancy's channel, it's starting out right now. I'm not all sure. I know she put some piano videos up. Do connect with Nancy. Yeah, Charles, I agree. I agree. Yeah, Billy. See, that's great. You work with each other, you support each other, and marriage does take work. Yeah, Red. Yeah, you have to decide what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept. Yeah, Granny B. But you know what? You probably married for love. And I always said I'd never marry for anything but love. I did not want to marry anybody because of any other reason than to be in love. I married for love. And I always had a boyfriend for love. I never. One time I did date a guy called Mr. I know Noni remembers this, Mr. Big Boat. I did a whole maybe 100 videos called Stories from My Life. And that one, if you haven't heard it, called Mr. Big Boat. Mr. Big Boat. He had this big, 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 big yacht. And so Mr. Big Boat, he was a nice looking man. He wasn't old or anything. He was nice looking, but I wasn't attracted to him. So we became friends. So we sailed around the Riviera and all these different places on this big, 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 big yacht. But I wasn't in love with him. I was not. And, and like I said, I would never marry somebody I wasn't in love with. Love, I see a lot of women marry for other, and that's fine, but that wasn't me. Because you know what? After a while, it becomes very unhappy. And I've seen people who married for anything but love. I should do a video called Anything But Love, marrying for anything but love. And they usually didn't end up very happy. And they were always looking for love because ultimately, instinctively, we're looking for love. We're looking to be loved and to love. And so I've seen that. And I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that in my life. I married for love. I married the love of my life. I did. So that's why I'd never get married again. I wouldn't want to. I've been very happy with the man I have, and just very happy. We're a fun couple, Yeah, yeah, Red. But Red, you're young and go back to who you were. Your kids are all raised and go back to being your best you. Go back to, I did a video, I think I put it up on the other channel today. I can't remember. It's called Oh, to be young and foolish again. There is something wonderful about being young and foolish in a good way. We're not talking bad way. Okay. We're talking in a good way. And when you're young and foolish, you're just happy and having fun. You want to be fun, whether you're married or whether you're single. You want to be pleasant. You want to be a pleasant experience. And I would not want anybody that wasn't giving because I'm a giver. I don't want anybody selfish. I don't want anybody selfish. Tell you something else I like. And I'm going to give you a couple superficial things here. These are purely superficial. This is not the deeper part because you want to come from a very good place, from a deeper level. Yeah, Pet, I fully understand that. For me, I have no desire. That part of my life, that love tank is filled. And I did one called Love Tanks, or a video called Love Tanks, or Your Tanks. You always try to fill the tank that's the emptiest. So whether it's financial, love, health, relationships, whatever it happens to be, we're always in the process of filling our tanks. And so my love tank has been filled. I've been blessed. And so I would not have a need to go fill that tank anymore. There's different kinds of love too. I've had a lot of love in my life. What was I going to say? I was going to say, so I forgot. I got sidetracked in a good way. I got good sidetracked. But yeah, I think just investing in yourself, be fun, be a pleasant experience. Just enjoy your own life. If you're not enjoying your own life, why would somebody else want to enjoy it with you? You know what I'm saying? And we never know where we're going to meet somebody. And just be you. Just be you. Just be you. And, I just be kind, be thoughtful, and have a lot of different interests. Have like Red writes poetry, passion for art, does art. Nancy is a designer of Barbie clothes and does pianos. Know what your calling is. Know what you're good at. And don't be afraid of not being perfect. You don't have to be perfect for someone else to love you. Okay. People think that they have to be perfect, or they have to be a perfect image, or they have to be all kinds of things. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. Okay, you are perfect the way you are. We're all on this journey to live our best life, but it's a journey. It's not a destination. You don't want to be your best. You don't want to be. You don't want this to be today. You don't want today to be the best of who you're ever going to be. You want to always be growing. Okay, you always want to be growing. You always want to be developing. We're always changing. The things that I liked when I was younger, a lot of them I don't like anymore. We're always changing. We're always changing. And so I thought I'd just come on here tonight and talk a little bit about love, 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 which I don't usually talk much about. I talk about all kinds of other topics, but I kind of got immersed in that tonight. And I thought that was a good topic because I have so many friends that are married and some that would love to be married. And I just say, live your own best life. And whether you're married or single, live your best life and be open. Yeah, learning and growing, learning and growing. And remember, love is soft and love is not hard. Okay, that doesn't mean you're a doormat. A lot of people think, oh, if I'm soft, I'll be walked all over. No, I'm never walked on, but I'm very soft. I'm very soft. You got to open up your heart for love. If you close that door for love, it's not going to happen. But you close the door to the wrong people, the people that will use you or take advantage of you. You close that door to them, but you don't close it. You don't keep that door closed to the people that could love you. And that's why people who rush into relationships often don't know a relationship. They don't know who that person is. So it takes time, but people don't want time. They want everything instant now. Instant relationships, instant jobs, instant education, instant this, instant that. They want it all. Life doesn't really work like that. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. And for me, I take my time in life. I'm in no hurry. At 64 years old, I'm in no hurry. Where am I going so fast? I'm in no hurry. The years go by really, really fast. The older you get, they start spinning faster and faster. They go really fast when you get to my age. And so I'm just enjoying life. I'm just enjoying life. And I believe in enjoying your life and loving yourself. And loving yourself is not a bad thing. It's not arrogant. It's not pompous. I love myself to take care of myself and to be my best me. And so that I can be there for the people I love. If you don't take care of you, how can you take care of anybody else? If you don't like yourself, how can you like anybody else? You can't give what you don't have. Nancy says, I'm in no hurry. Yep, me either, Nancy, me either. And so you can't give what you don't have. And so you know, I feel like my love tanks and my tanks were all filled up. Hey, call me V. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy day. Thank you. And so, yeah, absolutely, Charles. Absolutely. I think, and yet everybody's different. Like Pet Pet and I are both very much the same. I wouldn't want to be married again, but some people would. Everybody's different, and I wouldn't want to be married again. It's just what I wouldn't want to do because I've already done it. I've had a wonderful marriage, but there are people that would want to be married again, and I think that's wonderful. So we're all just different. Like some people like ketchup and some people like mustard, but some people don't like both, you know. So we're all different. We're all different, and that's what makes the world great. That's what makes the world great. And never give up. If you want love, never give up on it. Never give up. But get busy just focusing on other things. Don't be out there being hungry, is what I say. So I hope you all enjoyed this little talk tonight. I didn't know I'd go into such detail, but I do have a lot of experience in the love department. And so, what works for me. Now, remember, what works for me may be different than what works for you. You have to find your own way and what works for you. But that's what worked for me, and that's what works for me. And I never say I have all the answers because I don't. I just tell you how it worked for me, And yeah, Charles, you're right. Some people like ketchup and mustard. Sometimes I like mustard more than ketchup, though. Yeah, and redheaded, there's nothing wrong with being single. Okay, nothing wrong with it. Hey, Shanita, welcome, welcome. Let me tell you something I always said. It's like eating off of a menu that has four different menu menu A, B, C, and E. They're all different, but they're all equal. You can, hey, Alensky, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You can eat off of different menus, okay? And meaning that some people want to be single. I tell my kids, if you want to be single your whole life, that's perfectly fine. If you want to be married, that's perfectly fine. If you don't want children, that's perfectly fine. Or if you want a bunch of children, that's perfectly fine. It's what works for you. But I agree. Yeah, I sometimes like mustard. I never liked mustard. I never liked mustard when I was younger. Now I like mustard. I don't like ketchup. It's funny how you change, isn't it? I always remember a great memory my husband and I had. We were traveling. It was very cold in Europe at that time. It was like zero. And we were switching trains and we were going into what used to be the former Eastern Bloc countries after the wall came down. It was early on. And we're taking a train and we went from this beautiful super train over to this rickety old train. But right beforehand, we were waiting at the train station. And my husband said, I'm going to go get us a couple of the Bavarian Wurst, which are like hot dogs or whatever. And he brought it back, and all they had was mustard. And it tasted so good, so good. That's what got me started on mustard. That's what, hey, Kukchirina, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. So, yeah, I love that. Ever since then, I've loved mustard. It was a hard roll with just a Wurst on it and nothing else. But it was so good because it was so cold out. I'll never forget standing in that train station at zero weather, snow coming down, or snow had come down, waiting for the other train. We get on this other train, and it was old and rickety. And I had to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and I looked down, and everything went on the train tracks. It did. In those countries at that time, everything went on the train tracks, and I now understood why they never walked on the train tracks. But my husband and I, we traveled a lot back then, and we just had such a good time. We had a really, really, really good time in life. We had a lot of fun, a lot of fun, a lot of great memories. And when you get to our age, your memories mean more and more and more. We're always creating new ones. And yet we've really done a lot of wonderful together. We've had so many shared wonderful experiences. We really has. 5 kinds of mustard. I didn't know there were 5 kinds, but I guess there are, like spicy mustard, Bavarian mustard. There's different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love mustard. I do. I do. Yeah, Charles. We went over there, and I'll never forget. We went to one of the countries after the wall came down, and it was shortly thereafter. And we had our green pickup truck, and it had American plates on it too. The stuff that we did, because we were younger then, and we drove over there, and no one had seen it. Probably, I remember they had the electric buses, and they were old and kind of rickety. And all these people were looking out at us, and it was, here we were driving this big American pickup truck. I'll never forget that. Yeah, yeah. When the wall came down, when the wall came down. Oh, I love honey mustard. I do. I love honey mustard. Put put. Yep, 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 yep. I love it on salad, but I tend to, with my salad, I tend to try to stay really healthy. So I tend to do like an oil and vinegar mix. My mama used to make an oil and vinegar mix that I can't duplicate. It was very simple. She put like a pinch of salt, a pinch of sugar, oil and vinegar. And that's what she had. She didn't use like store-bought dressings. It was so good, and I can't duplicate it. My mom had something special when she was a special kind of cook. She really was very special. And so, yeah, I dreamed of grandma last night. I can't believe it. Grandma was in my dream, and I was telling somebody in the dream, grandma's going to be, she's 120, she'll be 121 years old, and she would be 121. How accurate my dream was. Yeah, yeah. Dijon mustard, absolutely. All kinds of mustard, all kinds of mustard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All kinds of mustard. So what happened today is I took a nap. After I got off the live I did earlier, because I was tired this afternoon. I was tired, and I laid down. My husband came home. He said he was going to take a nap. And I said, okay, I'll lay down next to you. So I laid down. We both fell asleep. He got up first, and I stayed there and napped for about another 30, 40 minutes. And it gave me a great wind of energy. It really did. It really did. I mean, naps are amazing. They really are amazing. I highly recommend a nap. I'm not a nap person. I don't take naps, but I highly recommend it. I think they're absolutely wonderful. I just wear myself out, and then at the end of the day, I fall into bed. Yeah, red. Oh my gosh, good seasons and oil and vinegar. Most people don't know how to make their own salad dressing. I'm not very good at it. I buy mine, but my mom was so good at that. So good. She grew up in the Great Depression. She grew up in the Great Depression, and they had to make something out of nothing. And so she learned. She learned. Oh, Charles, thank you for coming in and thank you for sharing your wisdom. You have been amazing. And I thank you so much, my friend. You are such a blessing. You really are such a blessing, Charles. Thank you so much. Thank you. And happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, Red, I mean, I feel like usually when I do a 10 o'clock live, I'm tired. I'm tired. So I think I'm going to start taking a nap before my 10 o'clock live. When I do at 10 o'clock. Tonight I came on 9:30 because I had all this energy. I did. I had all this energy. Now I probably will not ever, well, I'm not going to say ever, but I probably will not ever come on before 9:30. 9:30 would be my earliest. Usually 10:30, 10:40 is my latest, but I try to, make it right around 10, 9:55, 10 o'clock, 10:05, to come on at night. Now during the daytime, if I come on, and I come on pretty regular during the day, I never know what time I'm going to be on. It could be anywhere. I try not to come on before 2. It's usually somewhere between 2 and 4. Um, Pat, I think naps are amazing. I really do. I think they're amazing. Yep, call me V. Absolutely. So, yep, absolutely. My mom taught me, and this is one of the things I've taught my children. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. My mom taught me how to make homemade noodles because in the Great Depression, sometimes all they had was a bag of flour. And she said, if you have a bag of flour and if you're lucky enough to have a couple of eggs, you can make some wonderful noodles. If you don't have eggs, you can make them out of flour, water, and a little bit of salt. And yeah, that was a very difficult time period, Red. And my mom, it definitely affected her life, and she never felt secure about money or anything. There were a lot of things that she did not feel secure about. But one thing she did, she was a wonderful cook, and she could make something out of nothing. Oh, thank you, Call Me V. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so the thing is, and I make them all the time. Um, Now I have a noodle maker where you actually, you turn the little wheel and it makes the noodles, but this is not those kind of noodles. Um, yeah, absolutely, V. Absolutely. My mom would take the flour, she'd mix a couple eggs in it, a little bit of salt, a little bit of water. She would make it a stiff ball. She would roll it out real thin, and then she would cut it with a knife and drop it into boiling hot water and then put butter on them. Oh my gosh. And I make them all the time. I make them all the time. Now they're big noodles. They're not like spaghetti noodles. I mean, they're big noodles, but they are absolutely delicious. Cost nothing. I always told my kids, if you have a bag of flour or a bag of potatoes, that'll go a long way. A bag of potatoes, I do, oh my gosh, I make potato soup, fried potatoes, potato salad, all kinds of things with potatoes. Potato pancakes. My favorite food in the world is fried green tomatoes. Because we grew up, when you're poor, yeah, peanut brittle, Nancy. Oh my gosh. Back then, like Nancy, peanut brittle. We made homemade cookies. We didn't buy store-bought stuff. Now people don't make homemade stuff. And if they do, they don't eat it because there's so many chemicals, flavor enhancers in all the foods that they don't want grandma's food anymore. They want the flavor enhanced food, with all the the processed and all that. We had real food. We grew up on real food. We didn't have, we grew up on poor people's food because we used to go get the boxes of commodities before they had food stamps, and it would have flour, sugar, eggs, maybe a piece of meat if you were lucky, usually a can of Spam. I learned how to cook Spam and, all that kind of, which is not so good for you in my opinion, but I learned how to cook all that early on. One of the other things I cook is my mom always made homemade mush, and the mush was fried mush. And I'm going to tell you how I make it. Now, I make it a couple of different ways. You can use grits, or you can use cornmeal mush, or you can use a combination. I make a big, thick porridge, very thick, on the stove, but it has to become very thick. Can't be runny, it can't be thin. I put it into I usually use cornmeal and water and a little pinch of salt, or cornmeal, water, and grits, half and half cornmeal, half grits. Or sometimes if I don't have any cornmeal, I use all grits. Then you put it in a buttered rectangle pan, let it cool, put it in the refrigerator overnight, cover it with saran wrap or whatever it's called, plastic wrap. And you slice it the next day in slices. You dip it in flour, fry it in oil, and then you put corn syrup on top. Oh my gosh. It's so inexpensive and so delicious. These were called poor people's food as I grew up, but that's what we ate. And I still make it to this day. And I taught my kids how to make it. Nancy says her granddaddy grew peanuts in the garden. Yeah, my grandpa went out and picked berries. He went fishing. The fish, they never went to the store and bought fish. He went to the local pond and fished. And we ate those fish, catfish. We just had to be careful. I always remember grandma would say, don't choke on the bone. Don't choke on the bone. Yeah, Put. Yes, my son doesn't like tomatoes at all. What is Mayhel pie? Mayhel pie, Nancy. Oh, I love green tomatoes. Oh my gosh. Oh, fried pickles. Go if you have a jar of pickles, especially that I don't fry the whole pickles. Some people do. I can't do it. Fried mush, all red. These are all inexpensive recipes. These are, I mean, I could, I taught my kids these recipes because I always told them if you don't have any money, you can eat well. You can eat well. You just have to know how to cook it. Fried mush. You can use cornmeal, you can use grits, or you can use a combination of both. Make a very thick porridge, put it in an oblong pan, buttered, let it cool overnight, slice it the next day in slices, and you dip it in flour and you fry it. And then you put corn syrup on it. Oh my goodness, it's so good, so good. My green tomatoes, I love my green tomatoes fried, dipped in usually cornmeal or flour, fried, and then I put them on toast or buttered bread. Wow, Nancy, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, everything my grandma made pretty much came, the garden and things like that. We were, they grew up in that generation. They had well water, and I loved my grandma's well water. I can still taste it to this day. Oh, I miss that well water so much. Love the well water. I love spring water. Even today when we go to the store, it's always spring water. I don't do purified water. I do spring water. I love spring water. Yes, yes, Red. That was one of my favorite movies. I love Still Magnolias and Fried Green Tomatoes. And I've watched both many, 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 many times. And but I loved fried green tomatoes long before the movie. Now, fried pickles you make the same way as fried green tomatoes, and you dip them in a little cornmeal or a little flour. You fry them. Yeah, and I usually do the bread and butter pickles. The slices, the little round ones. Dip them, fry them, brown them on both sides. And I usually serve mine with ranch dressing or with honey mustard. They are so good. Fried pickles. Oh, whenever we go out to a restaurant, I have fried pickles. And I have, it's hard to find fried green tomatoes. So I usually wait until summer or end summer. And my neighbors bring me. They remembered. You know, it's funny what people remember about you. Um, yeah, V. I love spring water too. We used to go get it at the spring. You know, it was coming down like the side of the hill. We used to do that. And yeah, you can cook so many things, so many wonderful, wonderful um, things that are so easy. You know, people always ask me what kind of uh, they think I wear expensive makeup and expensive because I'm 65 and I look pretty good for being as old as I am. Um, and they say, well, you must use some kind of expensive cream, one of the $100 creams or something. I said, no, you know what I use? I have me a jar of coconut oil, coconut, the kind cooking, the coconut oil, the kind that gets hard, and I use that every night. I use that at night and during the day. That's what I have on, coconut oil. I wear coconut oil. Um, that's my cream. What is it? $4 or $5 a jar lasts you a year. I use that. That's what I use. I use that on my feet. I have very soft feet. I use coconut oil. Yeah, I use a lot of, you don't, life doesn't have to be expensive. I'm very frugal. I did a video today called Frugal. Well, I've done other videos on being frugal, but I'm frugal in areas that don't matter so I can be able to afford what does matter. Okay. And so, yeah, yep, happiness. That's the best thing. A smile will make you look 10 years younger. Laughter. Learn, if, getting back to being single or married, or learn to laugh. I laugh all the time. Y'all hear me on here laughing all the time. And laughing and smiling. Be pleasant. Be a pleasant experience. Wow. Nancy, that reminds me of like me with my grandmother. I don't have the recipe, but she made this awful, it was like an awful at Christmas time. Uh, what do you call it? Fruit cake? And out of she baked it in a coffee can. But do you know it grew on me, and I ended up loving it, and I miss it so much, and I don't have the recipe. Thank you, Red. Thank you. I don't have the recipe, and I've tried to duplicate it, and I can't. But it's funny how I never liked it, and we'd all have to say, "Ooh, we had got to eat a piece of grandma's fruit cake." She made it in a coffee can. She baked it in a coffee can, or it was like a tin can. She baked it in the tin cans. They never threw away anything. She used to make all the baby dolls out of socks. I have, and I've showed it in videos before. I have baby doll socks, or baby dolls made out of socks my grandma made me. Yeah. Laughter is good medicine. Learn to laugh, whether you're married, whether you're single, whatever you are, learn to laugh and learn to smile, and you'll have a much easier way getting through life. You know, yeah, that's what she did. I don't know how healthy it was to bake it in a coffee can, but that's what grandma did. They did all kinds of things. She lived almost 100. So did grandpa. He was almost 100 minus 3 months, I think. He almost made it to 100. And but they did a lot of things. They had an outhouse. I did a video called Grandma's Outhouse. They knocked over Grandma's outhouse on Halloween. They had well water. They had coal stoves. Yes, Nancy. I put them in many videos. When I've walked through my house and stuff like that. But they're all made out of socks. Yeah, and Grandma never threw away. She used to wear those little hose, that knee highs, and she'd roll them down. And you know, my grandparents ended up having money at the end, because they saved every nickel and dime they had. But you would think that they didn't have $5 to their name, because Grandma used to wear old shoes. All of her shoes were like, worn out. And, they just made the most of what they had. They made the most of what they had. They never had hot water. They always had to boil their water. And yeah, I grew up like that. And they had a little house out in the country. It was a little country town of 10 houses. And there was a swimming hole. a one-room schoolhouse when my mom was growing up, not when I was around, but I do remember the schoolhouse when I was little sitting there. And the train would go by. The train would go by, and it was right next to Grandma's house. The train would go by, and we'd stand out there waving to the conductor and the caboose man when they had a caboose. It was wonderful, wonderful to have those memories. And I'm so grateful I had a grandma like that. I really, really, really am. And I'm really so much like Grandma. I really am. Grandma had her ways. She was very firm on what she believed and very opinionated in a good way. She let other people have their opinions, but she valued her own opinion as well. She valued other people's opinions, but she valued her opinion. And that's how I am. I don't change my life for anybody else. I live my life my way, and that's how Grandma did. So, if you go through my 5,000 plus videos, you're going to find a lot of Grandma's wisdom, a lot of Grandma's wisdom. That's why I call it Grandma's porch, because we always sat on the porch. We always swung on the swing. And I'd go to Grandma's 3 times a week, and we'd sit on that swing. And I'd say, well, Grandma, what do you think? And she'd tell me what she thought. We'd solve the world's problems on Grandma's swing. We really did. Yeah, pond and garden, fruitcake. Yeah, I was never a big fruitcake person, but I miss it so much now. Yeah, yeah. You know what, Nancy? I remember my mom had one of those old-fashioned, hey, Tuber Chat. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming. If you don't have Tuber Chat, you really, really want Tuber Chat. You will grow your channel through Tuber Chat the right way. The right way, the right way. You will grow your channel the right way. And Tuber Chat, you missed a whole episode of us talking about love. Love, whether you're single, whether you're married, whatever, Put, can you or Red get that bot in here? Can one of you zap it? We've got, thank you, Put. You are right on top of it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tuber Chat, are you getting bots over there, or are you subscriber only? I need to do a subscriber only so I don't get the bots. They're coming into so many live chats. I see so many. But if you don't have Tuber Chat grows your channel in the right way. Very informative. You will love Tuber Chat's channel. So please, by all means, connect with my friend Tuber Chat. Okay. You will grow your channel. You really, really will. I go over and share Tuber Chat out whenever I see them on. And yeah, his name is Kevin. Yep. Call me V, must know Tuber Chat. I think we met over there at Tuber Chat, right, V? Or is it Vi? I think it's Vi. I used to have an Avon lady. I have a wonderful story to tell you about Vi, the Avon lady. Oh, thank you, Lansky. Thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Thank you. Okay, Tuber Chat. Okay, that's good to know. Hey, Jess Shelley. Hey, my friend. I hope your bruise is all better now from when you fell down. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah, I met some wonderful friends over on Tuber Chat. I really, really did. Wonderful friends. You meet all kinds of people, wonderful people over here, in YouTube world. You really do. And then a few not so wonderful. We've talked about that before, that you meet so many awesome people. I can't believe I've been on 2 hours. Can you believe I've been on 2 hours? See how good a nap is for you? I'm never on 2 hours, and most certainly not on 2 hours by myself up here. Oh my gosh. Oh, V. Okay, V. Okay. Thank you, Red. Thank you. I get people's names wrong sometimes, so excuse me. But I had a Vi, the Avon lady. And the story with Vi, the Avon lady, even though your name is V, she was wonderful. And she was like in her 70s, and I was 20, and I was living out in California by myself, and she would come by And oh, good, Shelley. Good, good, good. I'm glad you're healing. And one time she couldn't afford much. It was Christmas time, so she brought me a little bird, a little glass bird from Avon, but it was kind of like half filled with water because I think it must have been hers or something. Thank you, V. Thank you, thank you. And I cherish that little bird because it came from her heart. When something comes from somebody's heart, um, it was wonderful, wonderful. And I kept that, and then I lost it when the Palm Springs divorce video. If you haven't watched that one, I've got all the stories from my life there. Just about everything, pretty much in my life, I've done stories from my life, and that was called Palm Springs Divorce. And I lost in that midst of all that, I lost that little bird. That was like when I was in my 20s, way in my 20s, but I lost that little bird. I lost that little bird, but I always remember her. She was by the Avon lady. She was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And so, if you want to succeed in life, find people that have succeeded or are working at succeeding and that want you to succeed, not hold you back. A lot of people are fearful, like here on YouTube. Oh, I don't want them to grow. If they grow, oh, that's not good. No, you don't want to be around people like that. You want to be around people that are going to help lift you up. And whether it's YouTube or in mainstream life or anywhere else, you want to be around people that are going to encourage you and lift you up. That's what you want to do. But getting back to the nap, I mean, it's amazing. I've been on here almost 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm going to take a nap every day, I think. I think I'm going to start doing that. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world. And I've already done my comments, so I don't have to go back and do comments. I may check them, see if there's anybody that's commented, because I always answer my comments and go to other people's channels and watch their videos and share them out. People who share me out, I share them out. That's how it all works. And yeah. So 2 hours, boy, that nap really did me a lot of good. It really did me a lot of good. Nothing will age you more than being tired. And so getting good rest is really, really so powerful. It's such a powerful thing. You feel better. You really do. You feel so much better. Eating healthy, drinking healthy water. Steve or Steve. Okay, Stephen or Steve. Thank you, my friend. You end up calling people by their channel name. Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you, my friend. Well, you sleep well. You sleep wonderful and have wonderful, wonderful dreams. Okay. um, yeah. So, the thing about it is just, stay happy, keep your positive attitude, live your best life, do the things that make you happy. And love may find you. Love may be right around the corner. You never know where love is going to find you. You really, really don't. And you never know where love is going to find you. Okay, you just don't know. And so yeah, I think I'm going to probably retire for the night. I'm not going to bed. I'm going to go look at my comments and go spend some time first with my husband. Um, oh, thank you, Put. I appreciate you, Put. You and Red zap those trolls. I don't know where Arnie was tonight, but normally Arnie is here too to zap the trolls. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Those trolls have been or bots and trolls, mainly bots. I don't really get much trolls too much, um, but I don't get much trolls. But you got to be mindful when you're doing all this. So yeah, I'm gonna go relax a little bit, and I did do my run today, my 5 mile run. I had my bubble bath already. Spent time with my kids, made a nice dinner. Um, you know, I want to stay healthy. My biggest goal is to stay healthy, to stay fit, take care of my body, you know, and just enjoy life. Well, Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed being here. And Red and Putt Putt, thank you so much for really zapping away those trolls, bots or whatever they are. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank each one of you for coming. Thank you. Is there anybody on? Can you go? Let me check here. Let me just a second. Let me check and see if we can do my big dorky glasses. Hey, 8 Matos, we're getting ready to leave, and I'm looking for someone's channel. Let me see who is on over. Let me go open up something to see who's on that I would want to go to their channel. I have to know a channel. If I don't know a channel, I won't go. I won't send everybody over. I have to know it. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Let me go to Grandma's Adventures because I have a lot of my channels over on Grandma's Adventures. Let me go over there. Let me see if I see anybody over there. Just a second. No, I'm not seeing anybody. Okay. Okay, if you want to suggest a channel to me, that's fine. But if not, I have to kind of know somebody. And if I don't know them, I usually don't go over there. But anyhow, let me go look. Wait a minute, 1 second. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So usually I have to know somebody. Okay, everybody, I am going to head on out. There again, I thank you for coming. May God bless you. You know what, Red, maybe you might want to start coming on after me or something like that so we can push people over. What are they, Tuber Chat, Lori's Tech Time? Can someone drop those links in then? I know Tuber Chat, you don't drop links, but if somebody could drop Lori's Tech Time or Four Corners Custom Products or Boys and Their Pops. I don't know these channels, but if Tuber Chat recommends them, you're very, very welcome. Hey, Arnie, I'm getting ready to leave. I missed you. I was looking for you tonight and I did not see you. And I actually mentioned you just a few moments ago. I said, I wonder where Arnie is. So I'm getting ready to leave here, Arnie. I've been on over 2 hours and I am getting ready to leave. Not going to bed, but I'm getting ready to leave and go do everything. Thank you, Nancy. And remember, I come on at 10 o'clock at night, but sometimes like tonight I was on at 9:30, sometimes as late as 10:40, but usually right around 10. But I usually give a notification at night now. During the day, I don't usually give much of a notification. I've been coming on somewhere between 2 and 4. Yeah, Arnie, I've been on, I pretty much come on every night if I can. Not maybe every night, but I'm pretty much here around, well, I came on 9:30 tonight, so which was a little bit earlier for me, a little bit early. So, yeah, thank you, Tuber Chat. Thank you. Tuber Chat, drop the link and call me, V, drop the link, for Lori's Tech Time. Thank you. So that's good. So y'all can head over, just tell them you're from Dianna Brianne's channel and Tuber Chat's channel. And so thank you. And there's 2 boys as well. So thank you, Tuber Chat. Thank you. Well, I'm going to go. So may God bless you. And if anybody wants to start following me at night, I'll be happy to push them, send people their way. I know Granny Noni May's channel, she used to come on after me. So so she would, we'd all follow each other. I'd follow Brenda Land, and Nanny Mae would follow me. So I was kind of sandwiched in the middle. But thank you all. Love you much. I should be on tomorrow night, hopefully, and maybe tomorrow afternoon. We'll all see. I take it one day at a time. Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Red. Thank you, Pet King. Thank you, Trooper Chat. Thank you, Eight. Thank you, Nancy, Arnie, and V, and everyone else. Thank you, thank you. So, from my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Thank you, and good night.